Chapter 10. Blood in the Water. I don't know if I'm a sucker for pain, or if I've lost my mind completely. It's only the morning after I got my ass handed to me by Zolesh, and I find myself right back where I was yesterday. Okay, maybe Kyra's words from last night sunk in a little deeper than I thought. So, you think you're ready to try again? Zolesh asks calmly, eyeing the bone knife he is dangling in front of his face, as if checking it for imperfections, without ever taking his eyes from it, leaning gently against a tree. Ancient Ones, I swear he's annoyed with me. What the void happened between the time in his vale, even between the time he showed up here and now? It's like the strong, caring teen I met in the wilderness has been taken over by some brutal, savage monster. I swallow hard. I know I am. The chuckle that erupts from Zolesh in response has no humor in it. You think you are. Might give you that much. Without hesitation, I leap forward, aiming my fist for his face. Time for him to know what it feels like to have a broken nose now, too. Just before my hand makes contact with him, he expertly ducks out of the way as my fist collides with all my strength into the tree Zolesh was leaning up against. Pain erupts from my knuckles all the way up through my forearm and into my shoulder. Roan's breath, that hurt. Shit! Before I can fully process if something might be broken, holding my throbbing hand with the other, my whole body is launched to the side, and subsequently to the ground by a well-placed kick to my ribs. My face smacks the packed dirt and rock ground I stood on, and a ringing sound fills my ears. I don't even lift my chest fully off the ground before Zolesh's calloused bare foot makes contact with my jaw, and I spin over onto my back from the blow. And my chin is bleeding. I'm pretty sure his toenail cut into my chin. Gross. And damn it, is my jaw broken now? I open my mouth, causing the bones and tendons in my lower jaw to elicit a loud, muffled crack as it repositions itself back to how it should be. Nope, just hurt like the void. As I turn my head and lift myself up to my knees, instead of attempting to stand, I place both hands in front of my face and brace myself. Within a matter of seconds, Zolesh's foot, coming in for another strike, is caught in my grip, and I jump to my feet, instinctively twisting his ankle and spinning his torso toward the ground, bending him over at the waist, facing away from me. Vale, yes! Finally! I'm struggling to decide whether I'm going to shove him forward and cause him to tumble headlong towards the surrounding shrubbery, or if I'm going to slam my elbow down into the back of his knee. In the instant that I'm debating between the two, Zolesh dips slightly and pounces up into the air, twisting and spinning his entire body, using his trapped leg as the center point. He brings his free leg up and around to kick me square in the face with enough power and precision to rattle my brain and send me reeling as I tumble and hit the ground face first. You getting it? Small steps, cousin. Small steps. Zolesh calls out to me while I'm on the ground. Again! Small steps? I feel like I've been trampled on by a stampede of elk, but okay. I push myself up, spitting dirt and what I hope isn't a tooth from my mouth. Every part of me aches, but I force myself to stand. Is this really necessary? I groan, trying to keep the whine out of my voice. I thought you were going to teach me, not pummel me into the ground. Zolesh's eyes narrow, and I see a flicker of frustration cross his face. This be teaching, cousin. You think real fight be gentle? I clench my fists, ignoring the sharp pain in my knuckles. No, but I thought... What did I think? That I'd suddenly become a great warrior overnight? That he'd go easy on me? You thought wrong, Zolesh snaps and lunges again. This time, I manage to dodge his first strike, but his knee catches me in the stomach. I double over, gasping for air. As I struggle to breathe, anger bubbles up inside me. Why is he being so brutal? This isn't the Zolesh I met in the forest, the one who saved us from the Dracolith. I don't understand, I wheeze, straightening up. How is this supposed to help me win a fight? I can't even stay on my feet. Zolesh pauses, and I see the frustration in his eyes deepen. You still not see, he mutters. Still think this all about you. Before I can process his words, he's on me again. I block his first two strikes, even landing a glancing blow on his shoulder. For a split second, I feel a surge of pride. Then the world spins, and I'm on my back once more, Zolesh's foot pressing lightly on my throat. Better, he says, but there's no praise in his tone. But you not even trying to understand why we do this. As he steps back, allowing me to sit up, I feel my own frustration boiling over. Then explain it to me, I shout, my voice cracking. How am I supposed to learn if you won't tell me what I'm doing wrong? Zolesh's face darkens, and for the first time, I see real anger there. You want everything handed to you? He growls. You think Nemi gonna stop and explain how to beat them? I open my mouth to argue, but he cuts me off with a sharp gesture. Nuff, he says, his voice tight with barely contained frustration. We done for this day. You not ready. His words sting more than any of the physical blows he's landed. Not ready? I sputter, indignation rising in my chest. I'm trying my best here. Zolesh shakes his head, disappointment clear in his eyes. Trying not enough. Now when life's at stake. Try again when you're ready to think beyond yourself. With that, he turns and walks away, leaving me bruised, battered, and seething with anger and confusion. I push myself to my feet, ignoring the protests of my aching body. Fine. If he doesn't want to teach me, I don't need him. I'll find my own way to become stronger, to protect my people. Fuming, I storm off towards Lifespring Lake. Maybe the cool water will help clear my head, or at least soothe my bruises. As I walk, I can't shake the feeling that I'm missing something important. But what? What does Zolesh want from me? The sound of the lake grows louder as I approach, but it does little to calm the storm of emotions raging inside me. The cool water laps at my feet, but there is no soothing for the fire burning inside me. I stare out across the lake, my mind replaying every humiliating moment of Zolesh's training. What am I missing? Why can't I understand what he's trying to teach me? Well, well, if it isn't the fragile twig. I groan inwardly at the sound of Lolly's mocking voice. Just what I need right now. Not now, Lolly, I mutter, not bothering to turn around. It's not a good time. She ignores me, of course, circling around to stand in front of me. Her fingers dance along the hilt of her bone knife, a habit I've noticed more and more lately. It sets me on edge. Aw, did the big bad outsider hurt your feelings? She taunts, her eyes glinting with malice. I saw your little training session. Pathetic, if you ask me. She snickers, and a puff of air escapes her nostrils, like she's heard an amusing joke. You really are a twig, you know. I clench my jaw, fighting the urge to rise to her bait. For but a moment, I remember the long talk I had with Tornu some nights ago, and I take a deep breath in. I let it out. In, out. It steadies me enough that, as I watch her fidget with her knife, something else catches my attention. There's a nervous energy about her, an excitement that seems out of place. What are you up to, Lolly? I ask, narrowing my eyes. She smirks, tossing her hair over her shoulder. Wouldn't you like to know? Let's just say some of us are actually going to do something to protect the tribe, instead of getting our asses kicked by strangers. A chill runs down my spine. I notice for the first time the small group of teens lingering at the edge of the clearing, all armed and looking eager. Roan's breath. What is she planning? Lolly, I say slowly, pieces starting to fall into place. Tell me you're not thinking of going after the Dracoliths. Her eyes widen slightly, surprise quickly masked by defiance. And what if we are? Someone has to do something. Ansel's too weak, and you're you. I'm not going to let you do that, Lolly, I say, standing up. My voice is steadier than I feel. You're putting the whole tribe at risk. Lolly's hand moves to her knife, drawing it in one fluid motion as she lets out a laugh. Yeah? She sneers. And what exactly do you think you're going to do to stop me? You can't even beat me when you're at full strength, and, well, just look at you. I glance down at my reflection. Broken, crooked nose, both eyes black, blue, and swollen. Too many cuts across my forehead, cheeks, and chin to count. Tufts of hair missing. I look every bit as broken as I feel, physically and emotionally. Still, I reach for my own knife, my heart pounding. This isn't like our usual squabbles. There's real danger here. Not just to me, but to everyone. You don't have to do this, I try one last time. We can find another way to protect the tribe. Lolly's eyes flick to her companions. Go, she commands. Keep watch. This is between me and the twig. As they move away, leaving us alone by the water's edge, I realize this is it. No more words, no more posturing. Lolly raises her knife, a cruel smile playing on her lips. Last chance to walk away, Yorin. We both know how this ends, and your little girlfriend isn't coming to save you this time. I tighten my grip on my own weapon. Zolesh's brutal lessons flashing through my mind. I may not fully understand what he was trying to teach me, but I know one thing. I can't back down. Not now. Not with so much at stake. Lolly strikes first, her knife flashing in the sunlight. I barely manage to dodge, feeling the blade whistle past my ear. My heart pounds, adrenaline surging through my veins. I counter with a clumsy swing, but Lolly is too fast. She sidesteps easily, her elbow connecting with my ribs. Pain explodes in my side as she digs her elbow into the same tender spot that Zolesh kicked me less than an hour ago. Is that all you've got, twig? Lolly taunts, circling me like a predator. I grip my teeth, trying to focus through the pain. Remember Zolesh and Tornu in the wilderness. Watch her movements. Anticipate. But it's easier said than done. Lolly comes at me again, a whirlwind of slashes and jabs. I block what I can, but she's relentless. Her knife finds flesh, opening a gash on my arm. Warm blood trickles down my skin. I stumble backward, my feet slipping on the muddy shore. Lolly doesn't let up. Her fist connects with my jaw, sending me sprawling. I taste blood, my vision blurring. Worthless, Lolly spits, standing over me. You really think you can protect anyone like this? You let Chiron die, but not being here. You really think you can protect his sister? Anger flares in my chest. With a roar, I lunge at her legs, tackling her to the ground. We grapple in the mud, knives forgotten for a moment as we trade punches. I manage to land a solid hit on her nose. There's a satisfying crunch, and blood sprays across her face. But my victory is short-lived. Lolly's knee drives into my stomach, driving the air from my lungs. As I gasp for breath, she rolls us over, pinning me down. Her eyes are wild, filled with a rage I've never seen before. That's it. I'm done fucking around, she growls, reaching for her knife. Panic surges through me. This is it. For real this time. I really am dying. I'm gonna die here, by the shores of Life Spring Lake, at the hands of someone I've known all my life. But as Lolly raises her knife, something clicks in my mind. I see the tension in her shoulder, the slight shift of her weight. Without thinking, I move. My hand shoots up, catching her wrist just as the knife plunges downward. The blade stops inches from my throat. Lolly's eyes widen in surprise. For the first time, I see a flicker of uncertainty in her gaze. Using her momentary hesitation, I buck my torso, throwing her off balance. We roll again, but this time I come out on top. I pin her arms, my breath coming in ragged gasps. It's over, Lolly, I pant. Stop this madness. For a moment, I think I've gotten through to her, but then I hear a shout from the tree line. Lolly, they're coming! I look up, distracted. Through the trees, I see Zolesh and Tornu approaching, surrounded by Lolly's companions, who are desperately trying to slow them down. It's a mistake. A critical lapse in focus. Lolly's shriek pierces the air, and suddenly there's a sharp, burning pain in my abdomen. I look down in disbelief. Lolly's bone knife protrudes from my gut, her hand still gripping the bone hilt. She grins up at me, a wicked, triumphant smile spreading across her blood-streaked face. You should have walked away, Twig, she whispers, spitting her own blood from her mouth. The world starts to spin. I hear shouting, see blurred figures running towards us. But it all feels distant, unreal. Darkness creeps in at the edges of my vision. The world goes black.